What's up everybody, Bandit here, and today we have some really exciting news and a look at the inside of Toyota and what they're thinking for future models. So the newest news out of Toyota this week is that they're coming back with an all-new version of the Venza. Now the Venza was a crossover that they made a few years ago, and it was kind of somewhere of a mixture, truthfully, between the Sienna minivan and a Camry, which I know seems like a really wild mashup, but really it was a little bit sportier version of a normal crossover, but still had a lot of utility like you'd find in the crossovers and the minivans. However, with this new model, they're ditching the outgoing V6 and going a little bit of a different route. They're actually going with a four-cylinder paired with a hybrid powertrain, which makes it only all-wheel drive, only hybrid, and they're saying we'll get around 40 miles per gallon combined, which is just an absolutely crazy number. Now, it does have all sorts of other different kind of tricks to go along with it. The Venza is, again, kind of a sportier model, kind of a higher tech model, and as a result you get a huge heads-up display, a huge stereo system, a huge infotainment screen, all of the modern luxuries that we're coming accustomed to with newer vehicles, and they're definitely going a kind of a tech savvy route with this new vehicle. It has a much different interior, but ultimately it seems a lot like the Toyota Harrier that the rest of the world gets that we do not see here in America. But really, I'm not here to talk about the new Venza. I'm here to talk about the future of Toyota and the direction that they're going. Now, a few months ago, there was a leak from a dealer's convention, and it mentioned two new vehicles that we'd be seeing very soon, the all-new Sienna and an all-new all-hybrid crossover. Now, that all-new all-hybrid crossover has got to be this Venza, and both of these vehicles at the dealer leak were said to be all-hybrid, which is lining up exactly the way we're seeing it unfold. The Sienna is all-hybrid, this new Venza, all hybrid. And we're seeing a real good in-depth look at what Toyota is going for future models. Again, both of these vehicles, they're definitely going more high-tech than the outgoing models, and I think that's a really smart move. Again, the Venza was killed off several years ago. They have been making those, but the Sienna was getting a little bit long in the tooth, getting a little bit boring, especially compared to the new Odyssey, which is a really nice minivan. Toyota really needed to step up their game, and I'm really interested to see that this is the direction they're going. But there were several other vehicles that were leaked in this at this dealer convention, and that's what's really getting me excited. So again, the timeline is lining up perfectly with the Venza and the Sienna, but it also mentioned a new 86, a new crossover that we don't know much about, as well as the new Tundra, new 4Runner, and new Sequoia. So when we first saw this dealer leak, I thought there was no chance we're getting a new Sequoia. You know, between the Highlander as a large crossover and the 4Runner, if they keep that really, really large, there's no purpose for one. Because really not a whole lot of people buy it to begin with. I can't tell you the last time I saw an all new one, and you really just don't see a whole lot of those. The Sequoia, honestly, it does have the V8 from the Tundra, but aside from that, I really don't see why you'd be getting one. They're really not that much bigger than a 4Runner. The 4Runner is much more recently updated and ultimately off-road capable. And I think most people that are going for a true body-on-frame SUV, that's kind of what you care about. So again, if this news is correct, the Sienna and the new Venza will be coming out later on this year as 2021 models. Then we'll see the new 86, which is the small sporty car that has been a combination of engineering between Toyota and Subaru. So interesting to see that. Hopefully we'll get a turbo model on that. I know the engineers at Toyota say that this adds for the perfect amount of power for the chassis, but only 200 horsepower for a modern sports car can definitely leave other people wanting a little bit more. So at least give us that option. You know, if you want the pure driving dynamics of the naturally aspirated four-cylinder, I think that's great. But some people are wanting a little bit more power, and I think that's really great. But with the new 86 coming, the new crossover coming, and the new Tundra coming next year as 2022 model years, and then the Sequoia and the 4Runner coming mid 2022 as a 2023 model year vehicle, which is really, really interesting, and more than likely is going to carry a lot of the tech we're seeing in the new vehicles that were just released recently. Again, that Sienna and the Venza only available in hybrid and all-wheel drive for the Venza, and I think that's definitely the direction that Toyota is going to go. We've heard a lot about a mild hybrid system for the next Tundra, using the current V6 out of the Tacoma and then adding that hybrid powertrain on there for additional power. I think it really makes a lot of sense, and it speaks volumes to what Toyota is working towards. Again, Toyota really mass marketed the first hybrid with the Prius, which is now, I think, 20 some years old, which is just crazy to even think about. Again, a lot of people like to hate on the Prius, but for the price point, the MPG, and the way it was marketed to the masses, really, really an impressive vehicle. I mean, you're not talking about some super futuristic vehicle that's like the hydrogen vehicles now, for example, that are only sold in California, very, very limited numbers. We're not talking about that with the Prius. You're talking about a hybrid vehicle that was mass marketed. And if Toyota can do that basically to their entire lineup, I think that's really going to speak volumes to the brand and what they're planning for the future. Really, really interesting to see. We know that Ford is working on a hybrid and fully electric version of the F-150, and I think Toyota and the rest of the manufacturers would be dumb not to match that, and definitely strive towards that for the future. I mean, the lineage of the internal combustion engine, the writing's on the wall. It's definitely coming to an end. I know a lot of us really value that for the old school fixability and feasibility for driving cross country and things like that. But with a mild hybrid system, you're not losing any of that. You're not fully reliant on an electric vehicle where you have range anxiety and you have to find your nearest charging network. No, you can just stop at a gas station. You can go fully on that electric power or fully on gas power or a combination thereof. It's kind of the best of both worlds, at least for the technology we have now. I think it makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, I would love to hear what you all think. You know where the comment section is down below, and be sure to drop your thoughts down there. We really do enjoy hearing what you all think, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you down there. But thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.